Well, good morning, graduates. This is an amazing scene. Let me add my voice to the chorus of others, your family, the administration of the Webster University that has said congratulations. You have accomplished so much. A very special congratulations to the graduates earning your degrees at the ripe old age of 30 and 40 and 50. I see a lot of maturity here in the audience. Well done. President Strobel, Board President Bond, trustees, esteemed faculty, and staff, thank you for this honor. It truly is an honor. And for the invitation to be a little part of this very special day. I didn't do that. And very specifically to the parents and the grandparents, the family members of all of our graduates, congratulations to you too. It's been a long time coming, hasn't it? You bet. I remember sitting in the audience during the graduation ceremonies for our three kids, our daughter Lindsay at Washington University, our two boys, Chris and Dusty, from right here at Webster. This is a very special day for all of you. Enjoy it. Allow me to first address, I know what is on everyone's mind, right up front. When I was a college student, admittedly a long time ago, 40 plus years ago, I took a class in public speaking where I learned that a really, really good speech must have a really good beginning. It's equally important to have a really good ending. But a truly great speech, a speech that everyone remembers, is when that really good beginning and that really good ending are really close together. Thank you very much. Not quite yet. Shorter is better, I get that. Studies have also shown that no matter how good a speech is, a few years later, most people can't remember who their graduation speaker was. So graduates, it's not important that you remember me. I would like you to remember a few of the things that I am about to share. The major portion of your education is now complete. A few of you are going to continue on earning graduate degrees, but for the great majority, it's time to go to work. At Edward Jones, the company that I lead, we have 343 Webster University degree holders, both undergrad and graduate, that do the heavy lifting and the work of our firm every day. Now, some of you have terrific opportunities all lined up. Others, well, you're still working on what the next step will be. I distinctly remember setting off to college firmly believing that I would become a veterinarian. A full semester of comparative vertebrate anatomy and a multi-month internship with a small and large animal vet convinced me it's better to be a pet owner than a doctor for patients that can't tell you where it hurts. I changed my major from biology to a combination of psychology and economics. Both have really been helpful. Psychology provided an insight into how to communicate with others, developing the ability to work with a wide variety of people. The economics and business classes, well, that resulted in my application to Washington University, right here in St. Louis, where I earned my MBA. My major in that program was finance, because my career aspiration at that moment in time was to become a research analyst at an investment firm. Again, a few months in that role opened my eyes to the fact that the nature of the work and my skills were not a great match. So I changed my direction again and became a financial advisor, a stockbroker as we were known in 1977. Now, I share those two stories with you to encourage you to have an open mind. The career that you've chosen, the first job that you have out of school may be perfect for you. I hope that it is. Or it may not be what gets you excited about getting out of bed every day. I've had 7 different roles at my firm over the past 40 years, and every one of them was a challenge. I learned something in each of them, so keep an open mind. I'm not suggesting that you skip from one thing to another with little thought and no plan, but find something that you're passionate about, something that you enjoy and something that you are proud to be doing. I can honestly say I've spent very few days over the past 40 years going to work. I went to the office, which is where I felt I could use my skills, I could do important things, and make a difference. Now, my generation has been described, I think accurately, as being defined by what we do. Not so much your generation, you of the millennials, those born sometime between the early 80s to the early 2000s. And if truth be known, you scare us baby boomers just a little bit. We've been studying you now for several years. You're a very important group, a very large group. By the year 2020, that's just 4 short years away, you'll represent over 50% of the people working in this country. That means you'll have a larger voice, an increasingly important seat at the table everywhere that you go, at the company where you work, the organizations that you are a part of. Your power will increase as my group's power wanes. Now, power sounds like an aggressive word, sounds like a negative word. When I say power, I'm referring to the responsibility to decide, to change things, to move things forward, hopefully in a positive direction. So you have an opportunity to make an impact. It can be good or bad, it can be large or small, it can be significant or not. We're about to see what you do out there in the wild. You're not going to class any day forward. That's over. That's in the past. I don't know about you, but my senior year, I didn't have a class that started before 10 a.m., and I didn't have a class on Friday afternoons after lunchtime. That's over. You may not realize it, but it's over. Now, you have to show up every day, on time, dressed like the person whose job you'd like to have, ready to deliver your A game every day. The most valuable class that I had in college was an introductory accounting class, first semester of my freshman year. Let me tell you about it. It was taught by an emeritus professor known as Pop Allen. I thought that referred to his age. I learned differently. I was warned by the upperclassmen that you never, ever showed up for Pop Allen's class unprepared. When I bought the textbook for the class, along with the book was a note from Professor Allen, assigning the first chapter in the accounting book and the first 5 problems that followed at the end of that chapter for the first day. I remember being more than a little annoyed by that. I mean, after all, didn't the professor understand that the first day of class is when you go through the syllabus and you learn how your grade is going to be calculated, and then you look forward to an early dismissal? I begrudgingly read that first chapter. I put a minimum effort into completing the problems at the end. On the first day of class, Pop Allen closed and locked the door at the top of the hour. A couple students who were only a minute or 2 late were not allowed in. He introduced himself, he looked me in the eye, and asked for the solution to the first problem. He then proceeded to make a transparency and projected my solution on the wall for all of my new classmates to see. What followed was 10 minutes of sheer terror as I defended my categorization of the various items as debits and credits, as my classmates offered their opinions on what they might have done differently. Pop Allen covered the remaining problems in a similar way before we closed out that first day of class, and he shared the following comments. He said, "I am here to teach you accounting, but more importantly, I'm here to prepare you for the rest of your life. Every day you come to my class, you will be prepared. If you aren't prepared, my 40 years of teaching will allow me to know that, and I will call on you. Read the materials, do the assignments, and come to class ready to contribute and to learn. In life, you will have to show up every day, be prepared, and contribute." Well, he also shared that without any notice or prior warning, on certain days we would walk into class, he would tell us to put our books away, and he would distribute a quiz or a test, even the midterm, never announced, therefore the nickname Pop Allen for Pop Tests. His explanation was that every day in the real world, you would have tests, you would have quizzes, you would even have finals that occurred unannounced, and you better learn to be ready. Well, that was a great class, but thank heaven I only had one pop professor. I learned a lot in that class. I learned a little about accounting, a lot more about how life works. So you have the opportunity to be prepared or not. You have the potential to contribute or not. You can make a difference or not. Those who have studied millennials say you are self-centered, quite confident, very optimistic, almost to the point of idealistic, and yet you are detached and skeptical of all of the traditional institutions, companies, firms, government, perhaps even universities. You get your network and your community from your community of friends, not from a community of institutions the way my generation was oriented. So you have a choice in terms of how you approach whatever each of you has coming up as you leave this fine institution. You can just show up, figure out how to survive by doing the minimum, or you can thrive. It's a lot more fun, more interesting, and rewarding to thrive. Surviving sounds like this. Kind of hope everything works out okay, I'll just see what happens. Thriving, on the other hand, sounds like I have a point of view, I'm excited and want to be engaged, and I can make a contribution. Here are a few things I've learned about thriving. First, you'll never have all the facts that you'd like to have. Ask good questions, get as much information as you can, and then make your best decision. 80% is good enough. You'll learn the rest while doing. Second, you will never know it all, so never stop learning. There's something to learn from everyone that you interact with, so be a good listener. Work on that. Third, there is only one of you. Be genuine. You are unique. I love the quote from Oscar Wilde. He said, "Be yourself. Everyone else is taken." Fourth, have a positive attitude. If you're positive, others will be drawn to you. You'll be looked to as part of the solution, not as part of the problem. Attitude, folks, matters. Pessimists fail. Optimists create success. And work at being good, working with others. A diverse group of optimistic, engaged folks, wow, they can solve all kinds of problems. When you're in a meeting or you're part of a discussion, put away your cell phone. Do not text and don't tweet. Pay attention. I see a couple cell phones out there right now. You're taking notes. I know you are. And finally, revel in the opportunities when you truly are not the expert, because that is when you will learn the most. So my generation isn't quite ready to step aside just yet. We're going to hold you accountable for doing your work at a very high level of productivity and quality. We're going to look to those who can make really good decisions, embrace accountability, get results. As we step back and you step up, it will be with our hope and our expectation that you are taking what you have been given and will be making it better before passing it along to others. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a small part of a very special day. I wish each and every one of you a long, successful life and career of significance. Congratulations.